All right, so the title of this video that we're going to react to is How I Emasculated My Ex-Husband. Let's play this and then offer some reactions, some potential remedies to problems like this that a lot of guys face in a marriage or a long-term relationship.
I emasculated my ex-husband 3 specific ways: control, criticism, and comparison. I was in control of everything. I controlled how the dishes went in. If he loaded the dishwasher and it wasn't good enough, the way he was going to lead our team, it wasn't good enough. The way he managed everything wasn't good enough. Nothing he did was ever good enough. And then I let him know out loud, like I criticized everything that he did and told him how it should have been done better. And perfection was the standard that I held for him. So nothing was ever good enough, because I was comparing me and him. And I had this self-righteous view of myself that I knew the way and my way was better, and nothing he ever did was enough. And eventually it created a man that was apathetic, that was resigned to not do anything. Why should he show up? If I'm gonna redo it, or if I'm gonna do it better, or if he's gonna get criticized, why should he show up? And then that caused further division in our relationship, because he would say that he was gonna do something and then just not. And it created this big void in respect. And where I got it wrong in the respect category was I was waiting for him to show up as perfect in order for me to begin to respect him. I didn't ever respect his effort. I didn't ever respect the progress. I didn't respect anything.
All right, so some of the comments over here below. I mean, I basically posted this on Twitter and I said, happy wife, happy life is a false religion. Some of the comments below, Rusty says, I want to figure out just how you ever got a woman to admit that she was wrong. And another guy says, she is literally proud of abusing another human being. Another guy says, the fact that she says it all with a smile on her face is insane to me. You know, this is like the whole new era of like doing things on TikTok and social media for clout, even telling the world how you, she says, emasculated her husband in the marriage. But what this really boils down to is a process that I call betatization through 1,000 concessions. I talk about it in my book, The Unplugged Alpha. And what it usually is, it starts out that you're her humble, beautiful little pet. And then she turns you into a plow horse over time by making you jump through a whole bunch of hoops. So it starts out with, hey, Rich, you know, my family would really like to meet you. Would you like to come over on Thanksgiving or some special event or something like that? And then you go over and she introduces you. Well, this is the guy, and everybody's like, oh, we've heard so much about you, and you're so handsome, and you're taller than we thought you would be, and blah, 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 and all that sort of stuff. So you get introduced like you're her pet. She adores you. She really loves you and has something nice and positive to say about you. But the problem is, a lot of guys in a long-term relationship, they go through this process of betatization through 1,000 concessions. It's like death by 1,000 paper cuts. And through that positioning, through that process, you become less and less attractive to her over time as a function of you agreeing and nodding your head to everything that she tells you to say and do. Might start with something like changing the clothing that you're wearing, telling you that your shirt doesn't fit you right and you should buy this one, or don't stand over there when you brush your teeth, you're going to get toothpaste on the carpet, something. And it's just like one thing after the other, after the other, after the other, and you don't notice it. Most guys rarely notice it, and every guy goes through it. Gentlemen, it's not a question of whether or not you're going to go through betatization through 1,000 concessions. It's to what extent. I've been through it to an extent. Even after I've unplugged from all these comforting lies and I've come to many of these realizations, I still have to manage my mindset in a long-term relationship and make sure that I'm not allowing myself to become unattractive and go through betatization through 1,000 concessions. And at least she's got, I guess, the hindsight to say, hey, this is how I turned my husband into this giant pussy that I'm not attracted to, and divorced him. That's usually what ends up happening. So guys, I can't emphasize this enough. You have to manage the frame of the relationship. You can't say yes to everything that she wants you to do. Don't stop doing everything that she wants you to stop doing. Sometimes the very things that you do that she tells you that she doesn't like are actually good for her and the relationship, believe it or not. But most men don't comprehend this notion. Most men don't think to carry on doing what they were doing anyway, even if she disapproves of it or disagrees with it or tells you to do it a different way, i.e., don't load the dishwasher that way, it's got to be loaded that way. Guys, if you're at the point in a long-term relationship where you're arguing over how the dishwasher gets loaded or unloaded, it's pretty much over. I mean, you might as well just go and buy a house and then hand a woman that you hate the keys and then just say, I'm out, because that's what's going to end up happening later on down the road. Going through betatization is a very expensive process. It makes you look bad. You no longer get the intimacy in the relationship. She will disrespect you. She will express contempt for you. Contempt is a clock that ticks down to the end of the relationship. We've said this many times. Guys, don't allow yourself to nod your head away, just saying yes to everything. Chris Rock made a joke about it. He said, guys, go out and get a stamp and just stamp yes, 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 yes to everything. Try doing that in a long-term relationship and watch what happens with her opinion of you. Watch how warm or cold she becomes towards you as time goes on, as you go through betatization. This is where guys start going on to Google and start searching for, how do I get my wife to sleep with me? And then they go to like masculinity forums on Facebook, these free Facebook groups, and guys will be like, doing everything she says, but she still says that I'm loading the dishwasher wrong. And then some guy chimes in the comments and he goes, bro, you gotta learn her love language her more. Like, fellas, I'm telling you, these are not the answers to problems like this. First of all, why are you living with women to begin with? There's no upside, there's no benefit to it. Look, I know that a lot of you guys are all just like, oh, you know, we'll share the expenses and things will be awesome, and then maybe we'll have kids and a family one day and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, go get married and march into the slaughterhouse and then watch how those guys get treated in divorce court. Before you get married, fellas, go sit in family court for an afternoon and watch how the courts treat fathers that are getting divorced. They get absolutely in divorce court. But you all want to march into the slaughterhouse and go get married to a woman and live with her so that you can go through betatization, so that 7 to 10 years down the road she's making videos on TikTok about how she emasculated you and turned you from a masculine Chad into a pussy. Let me share this personal experience before we wrap up this video real quick. I remember I was at the gym once, just finished the shower, I'm over by the sinks and I'm shaving my head. And this guy walks up to me just as I'm doing it and he's toweling himself off and he goes, wow, that actually looks pretty good. He goes, you know, I wish I could do that. And he was balding. He was a little bit overweight, had a little bit of like a belly kind of shaped like a pear, but he also had one of those barbed wire tattoos around his arm. You could tell it's been on his arm probably for about a good 20, 25 years because it was faded. And I said to him, so why don't you just shave your head? And he looked at me and goes, well, my wife won't let me. And it's like, guys like that, like, what do you think's going to happen in your life? You know, what do you think's going to happen if you say yes to everything that she demands of you, or that you stop doing things when she tells you to stop doing things? She's not going to have any respect for you. She's not going to want you. Women want a guy that can say no to them. I don't know how many times I have to tell people this, but agreeing to everything that she tells you to do is not a good sexual strategy. It is not a good mating strategy over a long-term relationship to stamp everything away with a good fat yes. Learn to say no. Learn to do what you want to do, what you like, what can benefit you. Like I said earlier, a lot of the times, the very things that she wants you to stop doing or the new behavior that she's trying to encourage you to do are not good for her in the relationship. I have a lot of examples of that in my upcoming book. You guys tell me what you think in the comments below. Pinned in the top comment, I want to leave you with the School of Unplugging. It's less than $50 a month. It has tons of useful information about managing long-term relationships, vetting a woman for mother stock, learning how to make life-changing wealth, and a ton of other stuff with this full support, a full suite of Zoom calls that support your growth in all of these areas. Check that out, the School of Unplugging. See you guys later. Peace out.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.